different things in movies, even with ESPN. I need your attention because I want you to pay attention to what Wayne is really taking on here. Good, Wayne.
Thank you, Bertie. Before be very, very, very brief, but could we get all of our youth, all the youth that was out there today, you guys did a great, stand up please, be recognized. Come on, Jackson, Devin. Come on, ladies, come on. Thank you guys so much. I really want to thank Pitching In for Kids for getting behind this anti-bullying campaign. We've got Honest Key, Lee Phillips is a good friend. Megan's behind it, the Webster Credit Union, Jason and Catherine, and it's something that we're getting into the schools. We're not talking about statistics. We're really getting into the trenches. And I want to thank Carol. Carol took this and just ran with it. We lost a couple of weeks ago one of the great, great, great people. I had a chance to meet him when I was at ESPN. Maybe some of you out there did, but Muhammad Ali. And our theme this year, Pitching In for Kids, is Be Kind Always. And I'd just like to share a very quick story about Ali. In the early 1970s, he was getting ready for a fight with Joe Frazier. And contrary to what everybody thought about Ali, he didn't really hate Frazier as much as he let on about. It was all hype. And one day, in preparation for that fight, he got visited by a member of his entourage. And he said, "Champ, if you get a chance, next week you're going to be doing something with ABC's Wide World of Sports. And my father is in the next town over. And if you could just go and pay him a visit in the nursing home, it would really mean a lot. It's his 80th birthday." And true to form, Ali just totally overwhelmed everybody. They rented a big bus, and they pulled into the nursing home parking lot, and everybody empties out. He's got his entourage with him and hangers on, and he walks into the main part of the nursing home, and he sees a couple of nurses, and he engages them, and he starts doing magic tricks. He was a phenomenal, phenomenal magician before Parkinson's really sapped all of his strength. And he goes up to the old man's room, and he's there with him for about 10 minutes, and finally they said, "Champ, it's time to go." In typical Ali fashion, he reached over and he took the gentleman's cap off, and he kissed him on the forehead. And he said, "Hey, Pop, you better get better, or I'm going to come back and whoop you." And everybody laughed, and they went out. And Ali visits everyone in the entire nursing home. On his way out to the bus, he passes the TV room, and he looks in and he sees a gentleman, older gentleman, in a wheelchair, has glasses and a cap on and a shawl draped over his legs. And Ali asked one of the administrators who it was. And the administrator was very pompous. He said, "Oh, that's Mr. Jones. He was a former, pro boxer and a semi-pro boxer. It won't even make a difference because he's got dementia now and he's losing his eyesight." And Ali said, "Well, it will to me." So he had a chair put over in front of the man, and he reached out and he gently shook his leg, and the man's eyes flickered and his head came up, and boom, it went back down again. He did it again until he had his attention. And the old man looked at him and couldn't believe it. His eyes got this big as saucers, and Ali said to him, "Hey, Pop, you know who I am?" And the old man, he raised his hand just like this and shaking. He says, "You're the champ. You're the champ." And upon saying that, he broke down in tears. And he started to cry, and Ali reached out. He said, "God, Pop, that's okay. No problem to be emotional." He said, "No, champ, you don't understand. For everything that you've done for our people, for the courage you've shown, for the stands that you've taken," he said, "I have one living relative, and I'm 90-some years old. I don't even know how old I am." He said, "But my daughter, my only living relative, she's the most prized possession in the entire world that I have. But I will tell you this, that meeting you here today, outside of the birth of my daughter, is the greatest moment in my life." And Ali is so taken back by that, he starts to fill up. And he says, "Wow, Pop, that's so great." He says, "But do me a favor." He says, "Tell me, before I leave you here today, tell me, who am I?" The old man doesn't miss a beat. He looks right at him. He says, "You're Joe Louis. You're the heavyweight champ of the world." And everyone in the entourage started to scream and yell at the old man. And Ali became so incensed, he ordered everybody across the hall. And he said, "Don't move this man until I came back." And he went over there and he slammed the door with such force that 2 pictures fell. And he let his presence sink in. And he said, "Did you hear what that man said?" Nobody said anything. He said, did you hear what that man said? And finally, a member of his entourage got up and he said, yeah, man, that old goat, he called you Joe Louis, man. You're Ali, the champ, the greatest of all time. Ali said, no, and he pointed to his heart. He said, did you hear what he said? Outside of the birth of his daughter, that meeting me was the greatest moment in his life. So I want you to remember one thing. For the rest of the time that we stay here today, in this nursing home, you remember one thing. My name is Joe Louis. And our motto here, Pitching In for Kids, is be kind always. It doesn't hurt, it's painless, and it's a very, very, very simple thing to do. So if you folks have a chance to support our bullying campaign, we greatly, greatly appreciate it. Before I give the microphone back to Steve, I would like to do just a real quick 30-second, if that's okay, Mr. Varitek, to bring everyone back on Sunday afternoon, ABC's Wide World of Sports, with the legendary Howard Cosell and the legendary Muhammad Ali, very, very, very briefly. And we'll set the stage of ABC's Wide World of Sports. Cosell is there with his toupee and his yellow ABC Wide World of Sports blazer. Hello everyone, this is Howard Cosell. Of course, I'm coming to you live from Manila, the Philippines, the pearl of the South Pacific. Tonight's fight between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. Ali coming down the aisle right. Muhammad, come over here. Your thoughts on the upcoming fight. Frazier says you're laconic, you're lethargic, you're not the man you used to be. Howard, everybody's talking about Joe Frazier, Joe Frazier, Joe Frazier. Nobody's talking about Muhammad Ali. Howard, I'm so fast and I'm hurting. I'm so fast I can get in bed, shut off the lights, and get out the covers before it gets dark. Muhammad, you sound somewhat truculent. I don't know what truculent means, Cosell, but if it's good, that's what I am. Give us your prediction on the fight. Joe Frazier, in round 3, Joe Frazier will say there will be a bomb and a bing. Joe Frazier will fly out of the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much. God bless. Thank you to Jason and Catherine and Bertie. Be kind always.
Wayne Soares, ladies and gentlemen.